Welcome, electric fans, to the Electric Coaches channel. And for the past couple of weeks, I've been thinking about the hobby at large. And I've also been thinking about people outside the hobby who might want to play electric football. They may want to get involved, but they don't exactly know where to begin. They don't know how to start playing the game. Now, this video is dedicated to that fan or potential coach, whichever one you want to be. It's dedicated to that guy or that girl who doesn't know where to start. So, what I would tell a newcomer is 4 things you're going to need. You're going to need a board. You're going to need at least 22 figures, okay? And you're going to need some type of base for each one of those 22 figures, all right? And you're going to need a pair of pliers. With that, you will be able to start working with a team. You'll be able to start building a team with those 4 components. Now, I already know coaches out there who play. Guys out there saying, well, what about the quarterback? You ain't got no quarterback. This video, again, is for the newcomer. This is a fundamental approach to getting started playing electric football. If your figures aren't moving on the table, you're not going to be using a quarterback. So the objective is to get that coach to understand how to get the figure and base to move, okay? So now, we have our board, our pliers, we got our figures, and we got some type of base, all right? That's how the game came to us in the early years, you know, back in the 70s. Although this game has been in existence since 1947, by the way. But the 70s was when the game was at its height, okay? And when people got the game, they took the game as it was, straight from the box, right? And they came with some bases. And mind you, these are the traditional total team control bases from Tudor. Same people that make this board right here. And this board, by the way, is a Tudor Model 500 board, okay? So they took the figures, took the bases out of the box, right? And by the way, the bases from Tudor, they come on a sprue like this, okay? So these bases have already been taken out. I've already, you know, I've already taken them off the sprue. So they took the bases off the sprue, out of the box. They got the board out of the box, and they grabbed random figures, right? Like the instructions said to do when they put the figure and the base together, all right? This is what people were doing back in the 70s and throughout the 50s, the 60s, what have you. And they were randomly setting a figure and a base together, right? And then they lined their players up. Put them on the board like this here. Now I'm only going to just use 5. I got 5 Fab blockers here, okay? Let's grab these bases out of the way. And they put the bases and the figures on the table like this, lined them up, and they turned the board on. And that's what you got. Now, back in the day, people weren't talking about using pliers. Now again, this video is for the newcomer. Now, veteran coaches are going to be saying, "Well, where's the lighter and the coffee mug warmer?" We're not using heat, only cold pliers. Fundamental EF is what this video is about, okay? So now, you got this right here. Men just running your figures just running all over the place. with no idea in mind what you want them to do, turn the board on, and you got that, right? To the newcomer, or to anybody in the hobby, this type of movement, this type of figure movement is useless, okay? That's where our pliers come in. Now I'm going to take one of these random total team control bases, because these are the traditional, bases from like the 70s and maybe early 80s, right? The plastic is hard. And I'm going to take one of these and I'm going to try to get movement better. I'm going to try to improve the movement of this base using a cold pair of pliers. All right? So I want to show you that this game, if you handle it properly, you can get the most out of this game if you apply these basic techniques. Now again, these are bases from Tudor. These are ghost bases from Tudor. These are bases from ITZ. These are newer bases from ITZ. These bases are from this year, 2018. I just bought this pack about 3 weeks ago. All right, and these bases right here are newer bases from Tudor Games. Okay, so we got newer bases for this, more modern bases for this time, softer plastic, better performance. All right, but I'm going to use this old school Tudor Total Team Control base, and I'm going to tweak it and see what type of movement that I can get. I want to see if I can improve the movement of this base. The base is the foundation. It's the lifeline of this entire hobby. Without this base, or any kind of base, you can't play electric football. There will be no tournaments. There will be no guys getting together, nothing like that, right? Okay, so you're the newcomer. You got your board, your figures, your bases, and your pliers, right? And you're ready to get started. So the first thing you do is you take one figure out of your 22, right? One figure, and you get one base, and you simply put that base and figure on the table, and you run it. Just bouncing around, fell down, okay? Let's move it up here. All right? Still, not a good look, right? So now, we take our pliers, smooth jaw pliers, and we're going to pinch on those prongs on the underside of this base, right? So I'm going to grab the back prong. This is what you must do if you want to improve the movement of your electric football bases, right? Now, I want to go down all the way along the prong to get that prong to lay down and help us improve the movement of our base, right? Okay. Now, each time I do something to one end of the base, I want to run it and test it. Now, again, we're not applying any heat. We're not doing any expert techniques, if you will, okay? Flattening these prongs is the most basic step in electric football that you need. It's essential to sound electric football play, flattening these prongs. So I'm gonna set the figure back on the board and run it. Let's see what happens. Got a little bit better movement out of it. Now, I flatten the prongs on this side, right? I want to flip it over and do it again, right? Now, this approach, again, you're going to do this for every figure on your team. Flatten the prongs out, sweep them back. Now, I haven't touched the front prongs yet. Now, this base is very hard, so I should be able to press on these front prongs, okay? You're going to do this to any base you have in electric football. Every base in electric football is the same, pretty much the same configuration. It's got the shell and prongs, okay? Whether it's Tudor, whether it's ITZ, see the prongs there? You know, whether it's a Buzzball, RL base, they all have prongs. So flattening those prongs, again, like I said before, is the most basic step that you can do when you tweak a base. And it's the most essential step when you're tweaking bases, flattening the prongs. Run this base again and see what happens. Got a little bit better movement. Figure it wasn't falling down. So now we're going to go to the front prongs and we're going to press on those a little bit. Now I can do that with this Total Team Control base because the texture of this plastic on this base is very firm, so I can afford to press on these prongs and not worry about the base collapsing. All right. Now I'm not pressing very hard. I'm just lightly squeezing down on the prongs here. Now I press down on this side of the prong. I can flip it over and do the inside because all my pressure is coming from up here, right? So now, press down the front prongs and the back ones. Let's set the base down and see what happens now. Got a little bit more forward movement. Now the reason why this base is struggling to move is because these prongs are rather stiff. All right. Without any heat, we can't soften this plastic. But again, this is a fundamental approach to getting started in this hobby. Okay. All right. So now press a little bit on the other side of this prong. All right. And you want to make sure your prongs are straight also. You don't want them twisted and you don't want them bent. Because if they are, then that's going to impede the movement of the base. So we're going to set the base down on the table. A little bit better movement. Now again, this base right here will never make a team for me. But let's say you're the coach, let's say you're the guy, and this is all you got, then this is what you can do to help improve the movement of your figure, all right? Now this base, again, like I said, it would never make a team for me. Because if I matched it up against another one of my players, this is one of my Frankenstein bases, by the way. And again, this is only for fundamentals. I match it up, let's see what happens. You see how the base got pushed back? Well, that's what these old Tudor Total Team Control bases will give you when you get them out the box. Now, if you bought a game today, you won't get these bases. These bases are, you gotta find these bases on eBay or something like that. Somebody's probably trying to sell that stuff off and you may get those. But again, that's how you start. That's how you get started playing this game. Board, bases, figure, pliers. If you apply those concepts to any base you get, I guarantee you, you will improve the overall performance of your electric football team. And as you grow in this game, you'll be able to move up and perhaps participate in a tournament and be competitive. I'm Mo. Thanks for watching.
Have this game.
You start right now.
I mean, you got the Cowboys there. You got a guy not numbered. I mean, that, you know. no offense to the Cowboys, but you got to be numbered. They told me that early on these tournaments, you got to be numbered. And that looks like the Colts.
Yeah, it's the Colts.
That's a good game. That's a fun game. But look at that game over there.
Got the Vikings over here.
Vikings, it looks like.
And the Raiders.
Nah,
That's the Raiders.
it's the Raiders.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, that's the Raiders.
Yeah, what Super Bowl was that?
Wow.
Got me.
6.
That's when Jack Tatum and Sammy White were playing.
Yep.
Fran Tarkenton.
Fran Tarkenton. Yep. Dave Osborne.
Number 3. Number 3.
Super Bowl number 3.
Well, number 3, friend.
Oh, okay. Daryl LaMonica.
Darryl LaMonica. Man. Those were the days.